Welcome back to eedrummer. Today, I'll show you how to turn an 8 into a 6. We've all done it before, whether it's an exercise or a beat from a song. We've pushed the tempo too far, too fast, in order to make it sound like we think it should.
I want to go fast!
In today's episode, we'll focus on a common warm-up exercise, the digga-digga-burr, an alternating single-stroke pattern repeated at double speed. In its simplest form, this could be written as 4 16th notes, followed by 8 32nd notes. The goal would be to get the 8 32nd note single strokes to sound the same as if you were to roll them. What I want to show you today is what can happen if you push tempo too fast too soon. Did you notice a change in that last run? When I initially recorded it, I thought it was dirty and needed a little bit of cleaning up, but I hadn't quite hit my limit yet.
I want to go fast!
So I continued to push on. For several weeks, I kept pushing the tempo, trying to get it to sound the way I wanted to. But I had a fundamental flaw in what I was doing. Let's take a closer look. Okay, let's look at this in a little more detail. To do that, I'm going to take one of my recordings and bring it into a DAW. In this case, I'll bring it into Reaper. Let's start with one of the slower recordings, 96 BPM, where I know I'm hitting all the notes correctly. So we can see the recording where it spreads out. That's where our attacks are on the snare. And what we see up at the top is our click track. And this is just 4 16th notes on the click track. So for this to be correct, assuming we're doing the double time portion, we expect to see an attack on every 16th note, as well as an attack on every 32nd note in between each one of these 16th notes. So let's take a look at how this lines up. So for our first 16th note, we can see we have a nice attack here. If we move on to the 32nd note, we have an attack here. Next 16th note, it's got an attack. Next 32nd, we've got an attack. 16th, attack. 32nd, attack. 16th, attack. 32nd, attack. Okay, so we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's what we expect. We expect 8 32nd notes within a 4 16th note pattern. Okay, let's look at this when it gets faster. So as we speed this up, and we're going to jump up to 125 BPM and see what happens. Now again, we're still expecting the same number, 8 32nd notes in this 4 16th note pattern, but let's see what actually happened. So on our first 16th note, we have a nice attack. Our next 32nd note, not really there. Next 16th note, we have a clean attack. Next 32nd note, we have an attack. Next 16th note, not really there. We probably missed it and it came out over here, but we're going to line this one up with the next 32nd note. So it's got an attack. Next 16th has an attack. And our final 32nd has an attack. So what's our total number of attacks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we've magically turned an 8 32nd note pattern into a group of 6 or sextuplet. This problem is just going to exacerbate as you go faster. And instead of trying to clean up 8 32nd notes, now I'm trying to clean up sextuplets. And even if I get it clean, I still don't have the pattern correctly. It's not going to sound the way it's supposed to sound. Once I realized I turned my 8s into 6s, I backed off my tempo to a speed where I could execute it properly. I started to rebuild from there. Unfortunately, this had already cost me weeks of progress, and it took me another few months to get back up to the 125 where I thought I'd already achieved earlier. So what do I take from all this? Well, number one, don't be in a hurry to increase your speed. I lost weeks of progress practicing an exercise incorrectly in order to try to make it sound better. Which leads to number two. When something doesn't sound right, slow down, find a tempo where it does, and then rebuild from there. Both of these are mantras that teachers preach, but we don't always understand why. Hopefully my mistakes can serve as a concrete example so that you can understand why your teacher is telling you to slow down. My next video will be the final video on handwork. I will finish off the series with some foot exercises. I hope you found this video helpful. Again, if you have any comments on format or content, please leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I wish you luck in your journey. See you next time.